Well, hello there everyone, welcome back to some more Suzerain, where let's put our worries aside for the treasonous fucking cunt in Velen and everything happening. Today is a joyous day, for this, the day of my daughter's wedding. The day of Vina's wedding had finally arrived. The mood in the country was jubilant, uh, buoyed even further by the imminent return of Zilla. The service had just concluded at the Ark Sanctuary of Zilba. Vina had squeezed my arm tightly as we walked down the aisle together. When she saw Manas waiting for her at the altar, she cried tears of joy. Grand Wiseman Ignatius presided over the wedding, reciting the traditional words from an ancient scroll. As per tradition, the newlyweds shared their first kiss on the Zilba steps in front of the public. Neither paid attention to the cheering throws as they passionately locked lips. Citizens waved Rizian flags and House Sazon crests from their balconies as our carriage procession wound through the streets of Port Razon, flanked by the Golden Guard. We disembarked in front of Palaz Resna. It was time for the reception. The Queen Mother was by my side as we entered the Grand Hall. She was wearing a deep violet hat that resembled a fanciful undersea creature. I heard a few giggles as the photographers took our picture. Remember to smile, darling. It's your daughter's wedding day. I am smiling. It fills me with joy to see Vina wed. Then show it. The world is watching. I took a look around the hall. It had been turned into a sea of banquet tables, each covered with fine linen tablecloths, tasteful floral centerpieces, and quality porcelain. Overhead, small crystal chandeliers provided gentle illumination. We crossed the room and took our place behind the head table. Pavel shook our hands before helping us into our seats. Congratulations, Your Majesty, and to you on your hats, madam. Why, thank you. I'm happy someone in this place appreciates haute couture. Thank you, Pavel. I'm glad to have you with me today. Where else would I be, Your Majesty? Oh, forgive me, Your Grace, I didn't notice your arrival. Angelica Sazon approached our table. Hello again, Your Majesty. It was a beautiful ceremony, wasn't it? She bowed to acknowledge my mother, who contorted her mouth into an approximation of a smile. I must say I've imagined myself facing you many times. In none of those scenarios was I congratulating you on raising such a lovely son. Angelica laughed warmly. And I should congratulate you on the same. Sure, it's good to have you here, Duchess. The union of our houses by marriage is a mere harbinger of what's to come. That's my hope as well. A string quartet struck up a stately march as the bride and groom made their entrance. Vina's shimmering white gown trailed behind her as she and Manas strode through the grand hall arm in arm. Their eyes still only on each other. Every so often they remembered to wave to the cheering guests. As they took their seats behind our table, a line of guests formed to deliver their congratulations. Time to see who still likes me. Estella leaned over and nudged her granddaughter. Try and tear your eyes away from your sweetheart while greeting your well-wishers, won't you? Vina and her new husband both blushed. Sorry, grandmother. Diplomatic to this call, Your Highness. Queen Beatrice was first in line to greet us. My word, Vina, you're splitting image of your mother in that gown. Vina smiled, her eyes moist. Thank you for coming, Aunt Bea. Why, I wouldn't miss it for anything in the world. Mr. Sazon, you seem to be enjoying success after success lately. Manas kissed her hand and grinned. Winning a parliamentary majority is nothing compared to winning the hand of your niece, Your Excellency. Her eyes came to rest on Estella. What a unique headpiece you're wearing, Madame Estella. Was the aquarium kind enough to loan it, or was it dredged up by a trawler? Oh, fuck's sake. That is savage. The aquarium, Your Excellency. The proprietor also mentioned that a Nurembergian snag-toothed hagfish had recently escaped its premises. Would you happen to have seen one? Thank you for coming, Beatrice. I know all of us wished your sister could have been here today. She lived for such occasions, always ready with a perfectly worded toast. I'm not so rude as to have forgotten a gift. Our royal jewelers are putting the finishing touches on it as we speak. With a final curtsy, she departed to the table she shared with her husband and sons. Duke Reinhard was next. On his arm was a platinum blonde woman of stunning proportions. Of course. He let her go and bowed before Vina. My sincerest congratulations, Your Highness. Thank you, Your Grace. You won't be so kind to introduce your date? Oh, how rude of me. Princess Vina meet Vivi von Lauenherz. You may remember her for such films as Fling from Terrador and Ghosts of the Winter Palace. Manus cleared his throat. Of course he's dating an actress. Pleased to meet you, Duke Reinhardt. I understand our countries are to be working more closely together. Oh yes, I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to it. Palais and Rizia setting a vanguard example for monarchies all over the world. The mind boggles at the possibilities, unless the Prince Consort's reformist urges get in the way, of course. Nothing to worry about. Any internal changes Rizia goes through will not have any impact on our foreign policy. But to the contrary, they will improve our populace's welfare and consequently strengthen the global image of our alliance. Then by all means carry on as long as Palais is not expected to do the same. Enjoy the celebrations, Your Majesty. He took his date's elbow and strolled off. President Anton Rain stepped before me. He was accompanied by a man I vaguely recognize. Congratulations, Your Majesty. It is very good to see you again. Mr. President, I'm glad you could make it. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to speak more at the AN. I told my secretary to mark my calendar as soon as I got the invitation. We've got as much riding on our business partnership as you do. My wife Monica sends her regrets some sort of feminine issue. So you're not... This version of Anton Rain isn't very feminist. I see. I didn't want to ask for data, for fuck's sake. That makes it sound like she's on her period, you asshole. Oh, fuck. But I brought someone else who's been wanting to meet you for a while. For fuck's sake, this... Guards, keep an eye on him. Do not let him close to the female members of staff. Better Vector, Your Majesty, at your service. Sutherland's Vice President bowed low to the ground, wobbling slightly as he straightened up. Thank you for joining us on this joyous occasion. How do you find Port Trazon? It's easy. You exit the palace and turn left. For fuck's sake. He laughed to himself. Seriously, it's great to be here. You know, I got a nice piece of Rizian gold from Rusty Montoro once. I wonder how much it's worth now. What do you think, Your Highness? Vina had a polite smile frozen on her face. Thank you for coming today, Vice President Vector. Get this man away from me. Thank you for allowing me to crash your wedding. Should you ever fancy a diplomatic visit to Holsword, I will personally make sure you're giving the royal treatment. Stay away from my fucking daughter, you slimy piece of shit. His eyes wandered over to Manus. A marriage between once rival houses, say this would fit right into an idea I had for a soap opera about monarchies. Shut the fuck up. The Swordfish President politely nudged his companion. This time we adjourned to our table, Mr. Vector. Congratulations once again, Your Majesty. My mother wore a delighted smile as the Swordfish delegation left. They're exactly as I imagined them. I blame it on Petter. I took a look at the line. There was still a number of guests waiting to greet us. Jorge Asmal of Durdia came to bless my daughter's union and express his excitement for our country's partnership. Alma Sultana expressed her heartfelt congratulations to both Vina and her new husband. Nobles from House Sazon greeted Vina and Manus in droves. It felt like an eternity before we finally got to eat. As the father of the bride and the king of Rizia, I was expected to open the feast with a toast. Wine production had been difficult in the past years, but the Cantuavo family had still managed to bottle a new vintage in Vina's honor. They named it her royal wineness. Oh, for fuck's sake. Seriously? I raised the full glass in front of me. My cherished friends and family members. In the fast-paced modern era, it's especially important for us to gather in celebration of the love in our lives. I am particularly glad, and to so many of our southern McCoppin neighbors here, it bodes well for the alliance we are planning. There was a round of applause. Long ago I promised my daughter that she could marry whomever she desired. Providence smiled upon us when the crown princess of Rizia fell in love with a man who happened to be my ideal choice of prince consort. Vina looked as if she was about to start crying again. I trust Prince Vina and Prince Consort Minus to bring Rizia into the future. Changes are coming that not even I can imagine. Okay, sure. Vina shall be the first Risen Queen not to take her husband's name. Not even my grandmother Liza could accomplish that feat. I heard a few discontent murmurs coming from the Sazon tables, of course. As you enjoyed this sumptuous banquet, don't forget the thousands of unseen hands who have made it possible, from the farmers who till the soil to the servants pouring the wine. We raise our glass not only to the newlyweds, but to a future without conflict. Now let's make it personal. Okay, toast to my wonderful daughter, Vina. I will always love and cherish you no matter your path in life. Everyone in the hall lifted their glasses high. To Vina and Magnus. All of our guests repeated the words, the hall filled with the sound of clinking glasses. I took a sip of wine, it was delicious. The Cantwavels have outdone themselves. This one might be their masterpiece. I hope it's a good omen. I looked once more at my daughter. The light from the chandeliers glinted off Lena's ring onto her finger. She and Manus were talking to each other animatedly, their full wine glasses all but forgotten. I knew she'd remember today forever. Excellent. Everything's going excellently. Okay, what can we do before next turn? Princess Vina and Sazon officially married. Rufus Grag's royal gossip. Stella's hat overshadows literally everyone. Okay, is there any decree that I can pass? No. I have no money and no authority. Okay, how are we in the military? Submarines in training. Okay, next turn, please. Prince. Is that supposed to be a Machiavellian reference? A Machiavelli reference? Okay, our shit. Okay, go back. Our income did not drop as much as I feared. Good. Pay from oil workers declare autonomous town. Awesome. Order breaks down as street battles erupt. Ah, fucking Suomina, man. Assholes. Another mass demonstration. It's the Suomina that's... Yeah, it's the fascists that are anti-monarchy. Okay, diplomatic mediations with Dirdia. Lorenzo and I sat in Pala Resna's... What's giving me more... Okay, return... Yes, +2 for reclaimed territory is good. Okay, cool. Lorenzo and I sat in Palace Resna's diplomatic suite awaiting our foreign guests. A knock came on the door. Prime Minister Sultana and Prime and Supreme Viceman Asmal had arrived. A lot had happened since I promised Durdian and Morellan leaders that I would mediate between them, but I was still determined to find a solution. They and a handful of their ministers joined myself and Lorento around the conference table. Sure. Thank you both for joining me. I am confident we can accomplish great things today. Asmal and Sultana looked at each other uneasily. Lorento cleared his throat. We all know why we are here. Rizia has formed energy partnerships with both of your countries. It would behoove us all to find a solution to your border disputes. The Morellan Prime Minister nodded. It is time we put an end to these insurgencies. Our international image has suffered enough. Insurgencies, it's exactly that kind of language that has made me reluctant to deal with you, Madam Prime Minister. Are you sure it's my language you have a problem with, Mr. Asmal, not the fact that I am a woman who holds more power than you? Will you... Children, calm down. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, game, for giving me a children calm down option. Stop squabbling at once, both of you. Your conduct is befitting of kindergartners, not world leaders. Both Sultan and Asmal looked down at the table. Forgive me, Your Majesty. However, this is a problem with an easy solution. Allow Durdian Golcondians the freedom to practice their religion. You may not believe in God yourself, Miss Sultana, and yet you cannot deny those who do believe in a higher power the right to worship as their ancestors have. Rizia re-allowed Durdian Golcondas into our places of worship with no ill consequences. Rizia shares no borders with Durdia. The only reason you have not been overwhelmed by an influx of so-called pilgrims is because we have been holding them back. Lorento tented his fingers on the table. Supreme Wiseman, Madam Prime Minister, this is the solution my department has devised for you. He opened a folder and put out a map of Durdia, Rizia, and Morella with a diagram drawn on it. We call this St. Ruhek's Corridor. His finger traced a thick black line from Durdian Morellan border towards the Antacean coast. Each year, a select number of Durdians with an appropriate prayer visa will be allowed into Morella via this specific channel. It includes the most important sanctuaries on the Golcondas pilgrimage route. The route continues into Rizia, where Durdian pilgrims have been permitted for some time. Sultana eyed me suspiciously. How do we know the Durdians will stick to their route as they pass through Morella? How do we know the Morellans will not attempt to block it? We trust. Children, we trust. Okay, how are we for... Sure. I'll send a company from the Rizzian Armed Forces to grant the pilgrims secured passage. I accept that. I can accept that. So can I. Lorento smiled proudly. Thank you both for your swift willingness to compromise. Such solutions always seem easy when it's a third party proposing them, don't they? We'll assemble a team from all the three of our countries to begin the creation of the corridor. Okay, if Morella and Durdia can come to a diplomatic agreement this quickly, I have high hopes for the Inter-Mercopum alliance. Agreed, Your Majesty. Lorento checked his pocket watch. You are finished here. I'm happy Rizia was able to help you. The Morellan Prime Minister rose from her seat. I'll see you in the trade zone next month. I'd like to go over a detail or two about that first. I'll escort you to the door. She and her entourage followed him out of the suite. May the Lord be with you. He stood up, shook my hand, and left the suite. Well, that went incredibly well. Okay. Homelessness in freefall. Awesome. I'm doing amazing. Ruherk's corridor formed in Morella. Excellent. Okay. Will we call me as witness numerous fluctuations? Okay, we win or lose nothing. Ah, that sucks. Okay. That was 250 manpower. That's fair. It's fine. Now, final vote on the MITZ. Let's get this over with. Once again, our helicopter touched down in the Meftium International Trade Zone. Elena winced as she descended the steps to the sandy ground. The trip was quicker last time, or I was just younger. She pinned a strand of grey hair behind her ear as we began walking towards the MITZ headquarters. Ready for the final vote, Your Majesty. Remind me again, how much do we have riding on this? Sure. Do you still think our proposal is a good idea? Well, thanks to our new gold mine in Kalos, we are much less dependent on international gold production, which is fortunate because a large percentage of our economy still depends on gold. It will still be of some financial benefit to us if the proposal we agreed on with Morella goes through. But I would advise you to go into this meeting with the intention of strengthening our international partnerships, not maximizing our returns. Sure. Morale support is key to my plans for a South Mercantile Alliance. I have to keep Sultana happy at all costs. At all costs, Your Majesty? Well, not all costs, obviously. We kept walking until we reached their entrance, the entrance of the headquarters. We were about to enter the building when Chancellor Emmerich Hegel and the rest of Volgish delegation walked past us. Hegel looked me in the eye and nodded in greeting, his expression unreadable. Good day, Mr. Hegel. I will intend for it to be a good day, Mr. Torres. Ominous. Okay. We were ushered into the main conference hall. Helena split off for her seat as I was led to one of the 4 podiums on stage. Alvarez gave a gruff nod of acknowledgement as I took my place next to him. Greetings, Mr. Alvarez. Hello, Your Majesty. There was a squeal of feedback as Alma Sultana tapped on her microphone. The reporters, executive, and various delegations in the conference hall snapped to attention. My brothers and sisters, we all know that this is about what this is about, so I will get straight to it. Several years ago, the Republic of Morella began an initiative to bring the resources of the Meftium Basin under the stewardship of our state and our people. In accordance with a majority of stakeholders, we have negotiated a draft proposal for the nationalization of the trade zone. I thank my partners for their generosity and cooperation during this process, and I am happy to assure everyone gathered here that nobody will go home empty-handed. Well, almost nobody. An aide approached Sultana with a briefcase. She opened it and took out a single piece of paper. Meftium International Trade Zone Nationalization Agreement of 1957. All currently existing assets within the Meftium Basin will be brought under Morellan state ownership. From henceforth, operation in the trade zone will be overseen by a new state corporation, Morden Mining and Trade. Higher wages and strong labor and environmental protections will be implemented immediately. The government of Morella will own a 60% stake in this new company. The remaining 40% will go to Rizia. Alvarez scowled. Each MITZ partner must now give his or her final approval to the proposal. Republic of Morella votes yes. Lesbia votes no to the unfair seizure of your assets. Ain't your assets, mate? It was my turn. Sure, my kingdom is happy to approve this proposal. Both Sultana and Hegel gave satisfied nods. Thank you, King Romas. Chancellor Hegel, the Valkslandian Chancellor cleared his throat dramatically. The Republic of Valksland approves this proposal. There was a round of polite applause. Sultana smiled in obvious relief. By a 3-to-1 vote, the Meftium International Trade Zone nationalization plan will be implemented. This is a momentous occasion. I thank you all for joining us here today and invite you to stay for celebrations. I caught Elena's eye. She was applauding proudly from her spot in the front row. Prime Minister Sultana waved at all of us to join her at the podium for a photograph. Sure, join her. I stepped up to the podium next to Sultana. Alvarez and Hagel stood on either side of us as she held up the new contract for the cameras. The lesbian prime minister spoke into my ear in a voice so low only I could hear it. The gloves are off now, your majesty. Good luck to your kingdom. Asshole. Fucking asshole. Don't forget to smile for the cameras. He crept a rictus grin on his face as the shutters clicked all around us. Is that a threat? That's supposed to be a threat? Am I supposed to be intimidated? Okay, 30 to join regional alliance talks. Rolla to join regional alliance talks. Excellent. Velen backs out of regional alliance. Yeah, they can fuck right off. Palais to join regional alliance talks. Excellent. But alliance talks will have to be left for the next episode. Let's see. Pinel's Anti-Piracy Summit. MITZ successfully nationalized. Yeah, like I was saying, the alliance talks will have to be left for next time. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, I have been Pope. Please do remember to like, comment, and indeed subscribe. I will see you all next time.